language is to tell a lie. Chesterton says that the only thing that can be exaggerated is the truth. Nothing else can stand the strain. The modern decadent philosophers do not exaggerate. They distort, or worse, they destroy, or as they now put it, they deconstruct. The modern approach to an ancient text, or any text for that matter, is to deconstruct it, to take it apart until there's nothing left of it, to take what it obviously says and make it say less and less until it says nothing at all. The search for meaning ends when meaning has been found and then slaughtered. We're left with a lot of broken pieces that no longer fit together, words that have been cut off from their meanings. This is the state of modern thinking. It's nothing but broken fragments, broken, disconnected thoughts. In some academic circles, the most important philosopher of the 20th century is considered to be Ludwig Wittgenstein. It was Wittgenstein who said, "The sole remaining task for philosophy is the analysis of language." If that doesn't get you excited, it's okay. I had a hard time saying it without yawning. Modern philosophy has reduced itself to a pretty boring task. But the real problem is that the whole thing rests on a fallacy. G.K. Chesterton, who is really the most important philosopher of the 20th century, points out that you cannot treat language scientifically. You cannot analyze it the way you analyze a test tube full of chemicals. You cannot dissect it the way you would a frog. This is why deconstruction is ultimately a useless exercise, and why modern philosophy is such a dead end.
Every religion and every philosophy must, of course, be based on the assumption of the authority or the accuracy of something. But it may well be questioned whether it is not saner and more satisfactory to ground our faith on the infallibility of the Pope, or even the infallibility of the Book of Mormon, than on this astounding modern dogma of the infallibility of human speech. Every time one man says to another, "Tell us plainly what you mean," he is assuming the infallibility of language. That is to say, he is assuming that there is a perfect scheme of verbal expression for all the internal moods and meanings of men. Whenever a man says to another, "Prove your case, defend your faith," he is assuming the infallibility of language. That is to say, he is assuming that a man has a word for every reality on earth, or heaven, or hell. He knows that there are in the soul tints more bewildering, more numberless, and more nameless than the colors of an autumn forest. He knows that there are in the world strange and terrible crimes that have never been condemned, and virtues that have never been christened. Yet he seriously believes that these things can be accurately represented by an arbitrary system of grunts and squeals. He believes that an ordinary civilized stockbroker can really produce out of his own insides noises which denote all the mysteries of memory and all the agonies of desire. On the other hand, whenever a man rebels faintly or vaguely against this way of speaking, whenever a man says that he cannot explain what he means, and that he hates argument, that his enemy is misrepresenting him, but he cannot explain how, that man is a true sage, and he has seen into the heart of the real nature of language. Whenever a man refuses to be caught by some dilemma about reason and passion, or about reason and faith, or about fate and free will, he has seen the truth. For the truth is that language is not a scientific thing at all, but wholly an artistic thing, a thing invented by hunters and killers and other such artists long before science was dreamed of. In truth, the tongue is not a reliable instrument, like a stopwatch or a camera. The tongue is most truly an unruly member, as the wise saint has called it, a thing poetic and dangerous, like music or fire.
We are always trying to find ways to get at the truth. That is what we expect philosophy to do for us. All real philosophy, says Chesterton, is apocalyptic. It's a revelation. It unveils the truth. We all want to know more than what language tells us. We want to see the big picture. But we also want to know how every little picture fits into the big picture. We want to see how everything fits together. It doesn't matter how good our philosophy looks on paper. What matters is how it works in the real world. Chesterton puts the modern philosophy